Hey, friends.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, just enjoying back to school, fun stuff.
Was it a hard day for
Routine.
somebody?
No, it's good.
Good.
Yeah.
We had our first big meltdown today, so that was fun.
Which one?
Middle. Always Emma. But she's okay now. Hello.
Well, middle school just stinks regardless. So
It's just hard.
I know.
Hi, Kim. Hi, Erica.
Hello.
Hey, Miss Kim.
Hello.
I like the side profile of your face.
I know, right? Hey, it's been rough, Jen. I've had two daughters in a serious car wreck on Saturday.
Oh,
Your two daughters were in a car wreck?
Yeah, pretty serious one.
Well, why am I just not hearing about this? I'll call you later.
Yeah, do. So I'm a wreck. So that's why you're not going to see my face.
Hey,
I'm
Beth.
here in the dark. It's fun.
That's not fun. Scary.
Kim, you do know that you can hide your face, by the way. There's
How do I do that?
there's a button at the bottom left that's like the video camera.
Ah, there we go. Awesome.
Mhm.
So you can always hide,
Woohoo! Yay.
but I can still hear you.
I'll turn that off too.
Well, Jen will mute everybody.
Yeah, I'll mute everybody when we get started in just a second, which I don't know.
Hey, is your couch from Ashley's?
What?
Is your couch from Ashley Furniture?
My couch is from, it's a really good story, and I don't think we have enough time, but I found it at Weir's and then was going to order it and feels like, let's wait 60 days. And then I found it on Frisco Online on the swap.
Stop it.
In Dallas. Yeah. For less than half. Wrapped and everything. Somebody had ordered it and a designer said they backed out on the couch. And they just needed to move it before the end of the year. So that
And Roni loves it.
And Roni loves it, as you can see. He blends in, but he's going to be on the camera tonight. We're going to go ahead and get started just for the sake of time. If you will go ahead, I can mute everybody if you would like. I guess that's easiest. If you haven't muted yourself, I'm going to mute you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Okay, sorry, I get so distracted because I have to read the buttons. I want this picture gone. Hold on. Here we go. All right. So tonight we're going to talk about follow-up. And follow-up is, for some of us, I know for me, it's probably one of the hardest parts of running my business on a day-to-day basis. There are times that I feel like I do a great job, and then there are other times that I feel like I don't do a great job. And sometimes when I look back and reflect, I can easily put off my follow-up because I'm procrastinating, because it's not my favorite thing to do, because I'm maybe worried or nervous that if I do follow up, I might lose a customer instead of keep a customer, just keeping it really real and honest. And none of us like rejection. So if we are following up, sending out messages, checking in with people, and we're not getting a response back, then we feel more and more uncomfortable, right, every time that we do that. So we're going to hopefully talk through some of that tonight and some strategies and ways to stay effective with our follow-up, because as we all know, fortune is in the follow-up. Studies have shown, and a lot of this information that I'm pulling from are my notes that I took when Sherilyn actually did this call for us back in June. And that recording is actually up on YouTube under Manglet's training. So if you want to go back and listen to her originally, I will post that date. But I've always told you guys from what I learned early on at a Super Saturday event that it takes 6 to 7 interactions with somebody before they're even ready to make a decision. So we could count an interaction being a post. We could count an interaction running into somebody at the grocery store. We could count an interaction obviously being a phone call or even texts or messages back and forth giving information. The trick to this, though, is that our mindset is that once we've shared information, once we've answered a question or two, maybe we've had 3 interactions with somebody, we feel like we've done our job. and that we should have an answer back. The studies show, though, across the board in the sales industry, that decisions are not made until the 5th to 12th contact. So think about 12 times reaching out to somebody. That's a phone call, a conversation, running into them at school, running into them again at school, seeing them at a baseball game, seeing them, letting them see several of your posts, and then another conversation, and still not being at a yes. And yet, if we know that 80% of sales come from the 5th to 12th interaction, we have to make follow-up part of our daily routine to be successful. Only 10% of salespeople typically make more than 3 contacts. So I know that the people that I'm watching online tonight that are here with us are really good at following up. But I know that there's going to be some of you that are going to be watching this going, I don't want to do that because I'm afraid that somebody will think I'm bothering them, or somebody will think that I'm the crazy plexus person now. And there are some great ways that we can do our follow-up and make those 5, 6, 7 amounts of contacts and still be friends and not come across as the crazy person. And so we're going to talk through some of that. One of the things that I like to remember is that we need to lead with relationship. This is relationship sharing and relationship building. We are not after somebody as a number, as a commission amount, as an ambassador, looking at them as 5 points. We really want to make sure that we are leading with our products and leading with the relationship. So maintaining relationships are going to be key to follow-up. Maintaining relationships require effort. And some people are easier to keep in a relationship with than others. Jen Bridgham and I can spend a whole night together and chat for 3 or 4 hours and still feel like the next day that we're ready to see each other. We have that kind of relationship. There are other people that I love to death, but after 2 or 3 conversations or 2 or 3 interactions, the conversation is just harder to maintain. And so, Tanner, I'm not going to point you out. No. I'm just totally joking, just because you're on my big screen right now. But there's all different relationships, and we have to learn at really being suave and figure out how to be a master communicator with everyone that is in our life. So doing one of the best things that you can do, and I don't have the resource in front of me, I was just looking in my notes, I will find it for you, is doing something like the DISC training or color training, so that you know what your personality is. And most of us know attributes of our personality, but a lot of us don't know specifically every facet of our personality. It's really interesting when you start to research and look at that. Take a self-assessment test of your personality and then start to apply it to the people that you work with, the people that you interact with, the people that are in your home. It's a great thing to do with your partner. Hopefully it won't cause an argument, but make things even better when you start to learn how each other communicate. But this will help you do a better job of relating to the people that are your potential customers and potential ambassadors. You will learn what are their hot buttons, and you'll learn what makes them tick. The other thing is to ask questions. Not only are we going to lead with our relationship with these people, but if I reach out to Erica, which we did at hockey, then I need to also be able to ask her questions to know what it was that she wanted out of the products. I can't assume. There are very few times that you can really assume that you know what somebody wants out of a product. If you run into somebody that is several hundred pounds overweight, you think, gosh, this product would be great from them for a weight loss perspective. But most of the things that we effectively can address and deal with health-wise, we don't know without asking. So ask questions and be comfortable. Maybe that's something that you need to role play a little bit, maybe with another person, so you make sure that you come across genuine and you're not like, so what's wrong with you? Or what, you could come across and be really offensive. So you want to be careful with that one. I think that we also always have to be ready to share information. If you reach out and you say, hey, just checking in, sometimes that follow-up is going to be effective, but sometimes you're going to get a response back and you're not going to know what to do with it. I had this happen not too long ago. Somebody said, well, actually, I'm not doing so great. and they gave me a list of reasons why. They said, I don't feel like I'm losing weight. I feel like I've lost a couple of inches. So then you have to be ready and you have to know, and we've talked about this on our team page before, you need to be able to troubleshoot with your customers and your ambassadors when you reach out to them and give them some sort of help. I always tell everybody, we should be our best customer service reps that our customers have. We shouldn't always send them straight to customer service corporate, because we know, one, they're going to have to be patient, wait on the phone, and two, you don't always know what kind of information they're going to get. So put that on yourself. Do the best job you can to help find that answer for your customer or potential ambassador. And then if you get stuck, reach out to your upline or access customer service. So be ready. We got to also get comfortable with the amount of time that it takes to follow up. You should anticipate, if you've gotten interest from somebody once and you reach out and you send them some information, or let's say maybe you send them a sample, you've set the expectation that this cost me money, so I would love to know that if I send this to you, you're going to take it. And once you take it, I need to hear back from you, or I'm going to reach out to you in the next 24 or 48 hours. And if you could do me the favor of taking the sample and really giving me your honest feedback, I would really appreciate it. Well, when you reach out to them, more times than not, you need to expect that there's going to have to be more communication and more conversations than a decision sign up right then. And I think a lot of us, we get this like pressure mode. We've got leaders retreat going on. We want those convention credits. We want our PV to go up. We want to hit it hard, and we want to go. And all those things are great, but that anticipation sometimes can set you up for failure with your own expectations and attitude. If you think that when you reach out to somebody and you ask how the sample went, that you're not going to get a decision right then and there. I hear a lot of times people are like, well, I've been talking to lots of people, but nobody's buying it. That's okay. It's all a process. We're planting seeds. We hate that phrase. We don't want to wait for anything to grow, but we're planting seeds. And if you plant seeds and you water them well and you take good care of them, they will grow and flourish into really strong, beautiful flowers or plants. If we try to scoop them up out of the ground too fast, they're not going to live. The minute that they start to sprout and you grab them, want to put them in a bowl of water, they're going to last a couple days, right? We've seen that over and over and over again with our business when we try to force our way or rush something. So be comfortable with the amount of time that it actually takes in that follow-up. The other thing that, again, is I am not great at, and I will show y'all this. This is chaos in my little journal here. And Phil always makes fun of me because I never work page to page. Like, I skip pages. I don't know what it is, but I just have this thing that I have to skip pages. So nothing's ever chronological in my book. But you have to have some sort of system for follow-up. We are very motivated to remember that I gave Susie and Johnny and David a sample. But guess what happens? My life happens, my kids, and I forget, oh my gosh, I reached out to Susie, but I didn't reach out to Johnny and David. So I think that if you have a calendar, I use my Erin Condren for this, and I will go and move my calendar 2 days over and go write their name on my calendar and write sample. Some people like to use the note card system, and that's a pretty easy thing that you can do. It just takes the daily time of going in and pulling the cards out and looking at, okay, today's the 15th. On the 15th, I'm going to reach out to this customer that they're a preferred customer, let's say on the 18th. And then maybe an ambassador that joined on the 15th of last month. You would have those two names in your little note card box. Some people swear by that system. If you just like a steno book, or maybe you use your phone, your notes on your phone. Facebook Messenger is great because I love that also because you can go back and read the conversation from the past. And again, for me, if I've talked to 30 people in a day, going back even a couple days ahead, I can go back and go, oh yeah, we were talking about the grandmothers in the hospital, and making that reconnect with them that I care about what's going on in their life, not just about Plexus. So having a system in place. Lots of people say, so what is a good calendar or schedule for follow-up? I try to live by once you've contacted me, I try to contact you back as quickly as possible. I do this for two reasons. One, because it's fresh on my brain and I remember it. And two, even if it's an inconvenient time for me, more than likely, if somebody has reached out to me and sent me a message via Facebook or called me or sent me a message about wanting information, something has happened that has compelled them to think about making this decision at looking at Plexus. And the last thing you want to have happen is somebody ask you on a Friday afternoon when they're getting ready for going out on a date on a Friday night and you don't respond to them until Tuesday of the following week. That feeling that they had when they reached out to you because their dress didn't fit is not going to be the feeling that they have that Tuesday morning. A lot of life is going to have happened, and they may or may not be as interested in what you have to offer and what you have to say. So reach out to them as soon as you can. Once I've made that initial connection, I always try to finish my conversation with, I will be reaching back out to you within the next 24 to 48 hours. And the reason why I want to do that is if I've put information in their hand, I want them to have time to process it. I want them to also know that I'm not expecting a decision right then and there when I've sent them the initial information, but that I am going to follow up. Again, I would say probably half the time people read the information that I send them, and half the time they, at least the ones that have admitted it to me, have not even looked at what I've sent them. It's almost this thing that we feel psychologically that we're like, well, I'm interested, so the right thing to ask for is the ingredients and frequently asked questions or whatever it might be. But I reach out then 48 hours later and say, I think you've probably had time now to read through the material I sent you. What questions do you have? Sometimes, more than likely, that's not a threatening question, and so it makes it really easy for them to say, oh, I think I haven't had the chance to look at it. I've looked at it and I don't have any questions at this point. Or can I get back to you in another couple of days? I give them up to a week and I will reach back out with them again. And then after that week, if they don't make a decision, I reach out with them within 7 to 21 days, somewhere in between. And I try to gauge that based on their interest, based on what I feel like they have going on in their life, what they've told me, and also what I know their needs are. If I feel like I'm bugging them, then I will say, you know what, I'm going to check back with you, let's say in a month. Can you give me a time frame that would be best for you? And usually they'll tell me a time sooner than the time that I'm choosing when I say that I'm going to talk to them that far in advance. So use something, gauge the relationships that you have. Sometimes the check-in might be that if I'm going to check on them like in 3 weeks, I might go on their Facebook page though and like a couple of their posts in between that time, just so that I know that I'm staying at the forefront of their mind. And then what the goal always with our follow-up is that that person comes back and approaches you versus you having to continue to approach them. So when do I stop following up? I don't stop unless you're on my team, you're a customer, or you've told me flat out, stop bothering me or leave me alone. I've only had that happen one time that someone said no, do not contact them again. There are times where I have failed and I have forgotten somebody, and then 6 months later I'm like, gosh, we haven't talked in forever. I hope I didn't drop the ball with you. I always put it on myself and say, where are you with Plexus? What have you thought about it recently? The other thing that I like to do in that schedule of follow-up is to alternate the communication that I have. So the communication I might have the first time is long because I'm giving them information. The next one I'll be like, just checking back, seeing if you have any questions. Not really very much information. The next time I send them something, I'm going to send them a testimony related to whatever it is that they were interested in the products in the first place. So if it's business, then I'll send them a business testimony, or I'll share with them, oh my gosh, so excited, I'm going to Hawaii in 2 weeks. Can't believe Plexus is paying for this again. Something like that. Then the next one, then I do something kind of general again. Hey, checking in, friend. I'm here for you when you're ready. If you are too busy, I'm more than happy to put your order in for you. That again puts the onus on them. I'm not making them or asking them for their order, but I'm definitely offering them a service to help make that decision even easier if they're willing to do that. And this summer, I probably had 3 or 4 people in a row take advantage of that because they were busy. And that works. Let's see. Where am I in my messy notes? I want to make sure that you guys work on your own self-talk too in between times of following up with people. make sure that you're not assuming. We talk about this when we approach people, but this is also true when you follow up. If somebody hasn't had success in the month prior, don't assume that the following month when you check in with them that they're not going to continue to have success. We are, again, supposed to be the troubleshooters and help people through situations and hopefully provide solutions. A girl I talked to this afternoon was saying, I'm just really super stressed right now, and I have not made good eating choices. And I said, can I offer a few suggestions? And she said, sure. And so then I did that. I said, how about switching out this for this for that? Gave her a couple of ideas, and I said, I will check back with you in a couple of weeks to see how that's going. I think that we get in the way sometimes of thinking, oh my gosh, they're gaining weight or they're not losing weight. They're going to tell all of their friends, oh my gosh, I can't stand that Beverly Woodson because all she did was try to get me to buy product and it didn't work. And so you kind of start to spiral of this like mountainous, crazy story in your own brain without ever pursuing that person in real life and having a conversation. And it's just like when you have a bad dream and you wake up and you're like, in my dream, it seemed so real and so realistic. And when you wake up, you're like, what on earth? That does not even make sense. So try to replace that negative self-talk with, look at how many people I've helped. Look at what Plexus has done for me. Gosh, it's changed so many lives. Go read testimony after testimony. You should be reading testimonies every single day because testimonies are the lifeline and the blood to belief in this business. And that will keep you going and keep you on track for your follow-up. Let me see if I have anything else before I open it up to anybody wanting to share. Let's make sure, too, that we respect a no as much as we respect a yes. We say all the time, a no really just means not yet or not at this time. So if we give people the warm fuzzies when we say no, when they say no, it's going to make it so much easier for them to come back and say, you know what, I'm really ready to do this. I wish I had started 3 months ago when we talked, but I guess now's the right time. So make sure that you're conveying that. And that sometimes is hard. You know, if you've put a lot of energy and effort into somebody and a lot of time, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, it's just not the right time. We can get our feathers ruffled a little bit, honestly, and go, gosh, I just spent so much time pouring into this person. But just remember that all that time you poured into them, even though you're not getting it back right now, will be worth it later if that door stays open. So don't lose heart with all of that. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of homework. I would love to see everybody reach out to 1 or 2 people that have asked or said they're going to order that hasn't, and do so within the next 72 hours. So whether that's when you get off this call. The other thing that's great that I love is the accessing Facebook Messenger with a voice message. People love when things are personalized to them. So if you can reach out and in 30 or 45 seconds say, hey, you know what, I was just thinking about you, and I know that we had talked about Plexus at one point or another. You know, I know it's late on a Monday night, but we have a couple more hours of a special that's going on, and I don't want you to miss out if you've been thinking about trying it. Remember, you've got the 60 days. It's really no risk to you. Whatever you want to do, reach out to 1 or 2 people that you know have showed interest. Then I want you to also reach out to 1 or 2 people on your list that have shown interest in the business side of things and have not joined your team, and schedule a meeting. This is the other thing that's so good is when you are face-to-face with somebody, they can see how genuine and passionate you are about your business and this opportunity, and you will see from them what's really going on that you can't get necessarily expressed to you in a conversation over the phone or in an email or a text. And then the last is going to be to post some of these responses, let's say by the weekend, of what's happened with you really focusing on follow-up. Now, I have a lot of leaders on this call, so I think that the number one, having 1 or 2 people is really kind of lame. I think for y'all, that number should be more, but I'll leave that up to you to see. 5? You going to do 5? High five? No? You want it off? Okay, here. Let's unmute you so you can tell me why you can't do that many. Hold on. I have to find your face. Oh, hello, friends. Okay, you're unmuted. Oh, you just muted yourself.
Sorry. Okay, I'm on. So I did one where I followed up with somebody while you were talking, because
Disrespectful.
what happens, like
Multitasker, it's okay.
people don't reply sometimes. So then my next message is, oh my gosh, I sure hope you're getting my messages. And then when they respond, they always are apologetic. And I just say, well, sometimes my kids get my phone and a message might come through and I might miss it. So I thought maybe that happened to you. And everybody knows, you see the little face bubble when they get your message, but I play dumb. And it works.
Love it.
I did it today with an ambassador that had not been responding, that had $35 PV in, and that wasn't turning points. And she spilled it and just told me everything, why she wasn't, So anyway, don't be shy to go back and say, oh my gosh, I hope you're getting my messages, out of a place of concern.
Yes, love it. Love that advice. Anybody else have any advice or questions? Everybody's quiet. My phone's dinging at me, but I don't know what that is. It's Jen. Jen, you have anything you want to add?
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're unmuted. They can hear you.
Hi, friends. Happy Monday night. Gosh, I just think that everything that you shared is worth its weight in gold. I know that there have been a few times where, because I didn't follow up, I've lost a potential customer or an ambassador. And shame on me for letting that opportunity pass. I remember a new neighbor moving in, and she knew my car, had the decal on the back of my car, and said, oh, hey, I am interested in Plexus. I've heard about it. Well, I didn't know this neighbor or how to get a hold of her. We hadn't exchanged phone numbers at that point. But again, now that I know where I am now, I'm more comfortable to right off the bat ask somebody, can I friend you on Facebook? Can I get your email number or your email address or your phone number? Or right then in that moment, get a way to contact them, because if that passes with this particular neighbor, I think it was 4 months went by, and I kept thinking, well, surely we'll run into each other again on the sidewalk, but we never did.
Yeah.
She comes trick-or-treating at my doorstep last Halloween, and I was so glad to see her. And I said, I put it on myself, like you said, I'm sorry, I dropped the ball. I've been meaning to reach out to you at Plexus. And she goes, no worries. I've got a friend in Austin that I ordered from, and I'm good. I love it. So,
like, no.
Yes. So following up and keeping track of who you give out samples, like you said, is key, because you just want to make sure to follow up with those people. And also, I love what you said about respecting their no's and respecting their yeses and giving them those warm fuzzies, because time and time again, I've had conversations with people and it's just not the right time for them. I had a girlfriend text me today and said, I've been meaning to get back with you on Plexus, but I went to my doctor and I'm doing this, I need to wait, because, there's a time and place for medications and doctors. So, just to keep those lines of communication open, so that if I were, to be, kind of sassy or snobby to that person, they wouldn't want to come back and order from me later.
Right. No, I totally agree. And thank you and the stories are so poignant. And I think most of us who've been doing this for a while, we all have one, and it sticks with you because you realize, and we tell, and you can train your teams this way too, is to know Plexus will be a household name. It's a matter of who follows up and who's consistent and who knows their stuff to who that person's going to go with. And sometimes there's a relationship or a family member and it just ends up, but multiple times I have been told, well, I've seen Plexus from 3 or 4 different people, but I chose you because I could tell you're still doing it. And that goes right back to posting. And posting is a form of follow-up, guys, but it's just not individualized enough for you to be able to count and depend on that. So that is not good. That is not a good enough resource. And please do not tag people. I can't believe there's an Erica Barnes is a new ambassador with us this last month. And another company, a girl from another company was really pursuing her while she was asking me questions, and I would follow up with her. And one day I went to go check on something on her team, on her wall. She said she had posted, and I was going to go look. And this girl had posted one after another testimony, stories, quotes, business things. And it's just very disparaging. It's very, it comes across very, we say that there's a law of attraction that just came across so desperate, and it's just very offensive. So do not ever tag anyone on their page. And I know none of the people that I see on here have done it. I've really hardly ever even had to deal with it with our whole team. But just as a rule, let's make sure our newbies know. Don't be going and tagging. Now, if you ask permission, if you're looking to build your Facebook audience, it's another thing, but you need to ask permission for that. Anything else? All really good thoughts.
I had one more thing.
Yeah.
You know how, right now I have a potential that I met on one of the mom's websites, and she friended me on Facebook, and she was talking about weight loss and some blood pressure issues. And so she hasn't really pulled the trigger yet. She's just kind of finding stuff out. But she's talking about me with her friends. Like, she'll tag me and say, well, yeah, when we're ready, this is the person that we're going to go through, Well, awesome. But don't be afraid to purposely look for testimonies from, people that have the same kinds of issues that your prospects have, and then just put those on your wall, like as the testimony of the day or whatever you do. Because I did that today, and I got her attention. She liked it. And so that was the first Plexus thing that she liked. So I do kind of target a little bit like that. Or if it's, I don't know, this might sound bad, but if it's somebody that, a Hispanic woman that's contacted me, then I'll look for a Hispanic woman's testimonial, so that they can relate and she can see
that's good.
This is what she did, and I could do it too, So
right.
Anyway, I do kind of target like that. And I've had people say, are you targeting me? No, I'm just posting testimonials.
I'm filing you, but that's all.
I just stalked your Facebook page for all day, but yeah.
No, it's true. And in that situation with that particular person you're talking about today, I plant a seed when they've even just approached me about being a customer, but you see that natural wanting to share and include, let's get a group of us and do this. I plant the seed of the business opportunity with people, and I've gotten several ambassadors that were initially just going to be customers that way. Now, you have to be careful because you want to make sure that you're you realize that as a customer, you get 60 days. As an ambassador, you do not. And you make sure that those expectations are really clear in terms of the rules and the differences. But when you see that kind of spark in somebody who is going after people before they've even made a decision, that's a great place to then also follow up with that business opportunity as well.
Well, somebody had responded and said, my sister-in-law sells Plexus, and tagged her. And then this lady who I don't even know was like, oh, no, I got my girl already.
Awesome.
And then she tagged other people. So, just not being afraid to kind of target people, I think, is what I'm trying to say, because they can relate and see, this person can do it. She's just like me. I could do it. Mm-hmm. And so
I know my upline, sweet Alicia McKee, has said that she will go by on the right-hand side of your Facebook page where it shows, whether that person's online or offline. And she will look and see if anyone that she's prospecting is online at that moment. And she'll post something at that moment because she knows that person is online.
On there. Yep. That's smart. She must be a diamond.
She is a diamond. I think it's diamond silver.
All right, guys. I think that is it. Anybody else? The bottom half of the Brady Bunch screen is being really quiet, but that's okay. Y'all don't have to communicate or participate if you don't want.
I like Cutie Patoonie's bun. You have such a cute, messy bun.
I know. Taryn is adorable. She's maybe coming to Dallas.
Wow.
I got my toes and my fingers crossed. Yeah, we got to work on him. Whatever you need from me, you tell me.
Dallas is a good place.
Yay. I hope so. We'll have lots of fun. We have big stuff planned, y'all. I'm super excited about this weekend. And we will be sharing. Tomorrow is the first of the month. Everybody loves the first of the month. It's my favorite time. And I'm going to share some of the Leslie Zan training from this last Saturday tomorrow on our team page. So be watching for that. It's all about pace and really picking up the pace. And I know Lori was there, and I'm more than happy for you to jump in, hun, and give some information to. Katie Wheeler was there, Becky, and Dwayne. Dwayne and Amy were there, Becky and John were there. It was some great power-packed information that I want to make sure that our team really jumps on. So anyway, anybody have anything else?
I was just gonna say it was awesome training on Saturday.
It really was. And I wasn't even there for the whole part, but what I heard and I begged for several people's notes and what I've read through and her PowerPoint, just really powerful stuff. So awesome. Okay, guys, have a great night and go Plexus.